Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm scraplifting Darla Weber, and this is the page I chose to scraplift, which is actually pretty straightforward but beautiful. And so I did do a little bit of prep work before, so I did make this little booklet because I have some extra photos to go on this page. I did have this piece of scrap that it was a corner that I put some foam dots on it for that little spot, and I'm just going to finish that up. I didn't really actually do much else to this scrap piece, and then I decided on this striped bound piece as my background paper. It's got some pink in it and some white and like a hint of blue, and Papa's shirt that he's wearing has a whole bunch of pink in it, so I thought it worked really well. And he is showing, well, all of us, but I have pictures of him showing Matea the saddles for his 90th birthday party. So this was in July of 2023. And so, yeah. So he's showing us and telling us a little bit about the farm and growing up and grandparents and, well, great grandparents for my children, or great grandparents to my husband. So, and then some of the prep work I did was fussy cutting up these Color Rush Studio. It was a freebie for International Scrapbook Day, and it totally works really well for this. So I am mostly just using that. I have a little bit for where that horseshoe paper came from, and that little tab on that booklet came from a different kit, and it was like a Monday night kit that it came from. It was just leftovers that I had put away because I knew there was something else I would do with it, and I'm just gonna keep this stuff that I printed off together. This piece of paper that I'm backing these two photos in is from Tracy Reed's new collection, Trailblazer. So it is beautiful, but I'm using the freebies on this one. I did print out most of that kit because I did pick it up last weekend, the weekend before, when it was on sale. So just edging that in a little bit of walnut stain and try to figure out where I want it to go. So Darla's is right close to that edge. I'm going to move mine. I set it there, and then I'm going to move mine over just a little bit more so I have enough room to do an embellishment on the right side. So it literally is just going to go over a little bit. And there we go. And then there is just, I think there's almost all of this is the Color Rush Studio, except for that the 3 pattern papers I guess there is. And so some of the prep work was literally just cutting this out, which I enjoy doing, but doesn't need to be done on camera. So I did fussy cut in that freebie. I think there was 3 whole pages. So I printed off 2 of the pages twice and then 1 of the pages just once, and did a whole bunch of cutting. So then, because this is about the farm and the saddles, the cowboy hat works, the horseshoes work, the boot works, all of this Western theme stuff definitely works with this page. So I'm just going to lean into that, and it really works well that he's wearing pink. So just really funny. All good. So we play around with these stars a little bit. That one is in that spot in the left corner where I'm putting this horseshoe. Isn't going to stay there. The big one's not going to stay at the top. I do distress in walnut stain as I go for some of this, and I'm going to try things in a couple different spots, but I'm just having fun and playing. This layout, if I counted the fussing cutting, probably took me 45 minutes to an hour. On camera, without speeding it up, it was 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes, I think it was. So it really wasn't that long of a process for me. Like, I think probably 45 minutes tops with the pre-planning and everything. So, and the pre-planning I did off camera, mostly because I was on the phone and I record on my phone, and so I was getting stuff sorted out that wouldn't make a huge difference to recording, but I could still do a little bit. And as you saw, I just cut out that little bit of pink on the horseshoe. I didn't actually really need to because I am going to put one of these stars in a spot where it would cover that up anyway, but I was finding that pink a little distracting on the horseshoe, so I just took it off. And then I'm going to glue this on, which makes a nice little cluster in this corner. It's going to get a star here in a minute, but right now. And then that cluster's done, and I really like it. And then just trying to sort out what I want on this top, because Darla has wings in the top, it looks like. Looks like hers is probably like a Harry Potter potions kind of layout. I don't know. Could be Halloween. Mine is definitely not Halloween, but I liked the way she set up her page. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, I know what I could do on that one, because I totally knew I had that horseshoe corner. So that's what I made fit. So I snuck the largest star in behind. I'm going to put this I think is an Allie Edwards chipboard piece, which says chapter by chapter. I'm going to cover up the pink hat with this blue one. It's going to sit there for a minute while I think about it. Still trying to sort out where I'm going to put that other star, because I do want it on here. And then just thinking here, I do like that bow where it is, and so that bow is going to stay there. And I am going to use my pop-up dots. I'm going to cut them in half, and then I'm going to go underneath the bow part of each of these bows just to give it a little more dimension. So like that, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this one, and that lifts it off the page a little bit, makes it look more like, not quite like paper, a little bit more like fabric instead, but definitely still paper, but just gives it a little bit of dimension. It looks like from the video that the tail is on my daughter's head, totally not on her head. So, and then the star is going to go down here, and it's going to hang out behind where that little booklet goes. And then I decided, yes, the blue cowboy hat can go there, because it just adds a little bit more to that space. And I don't need very much on that tag, so, and then just a little bit more ruffle. Just looking to see what else I have to do. I don't really have much left here, so I did think about trying to get this horseshoe on here because of the tab on the booklet, but I'm not going to. That reddy color actually ends up in the pictures. It's also underneath with that flower, so I don't really need to have it in another spot, but I thought maybe if I could get it on I would, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to ink up the edges in the walnut stain. And I like that little bit more distress. And I'm going to do a little bit of writing on the front. So this says, Papa was sharing about some of the history of the farm, and then I just dated it as 2023. I know it was July, but it'll go in her book where it matters. And then on the saddle picture, it says, saddle purchased by Fred Miller from Walter Willoughby. Bill Miller traded it for Butcher and Hog, and then Yvonne has a bit on there, and then the other one says saddle from Granddad Bill Howie. So, and then on the back I wrote, Fred Miller was your great-grandpa's papa's dad, so your great-great-grandpa. Bill Howie was great-grandma's nana, dad, so also your great-great-grandfather. So Papa in this photo is my daughter's great-grandfather. And so he will have his 92nd birthday coming up here in August, which is really phenomenal. So exciting. And then there's a little bit of history there for her. And so she knows who these two people were and why does it matter. Here's some close-ups. I really like how this page turned out. Thanks to Darla for letting us scraplift her today. Also thanks to Pineapple Papers for organizing this. Make sure you see the links below for the playlist and for Darla and Crystal's links, Crystal's pineapple papers. And those are some close-ups. Thank you so much for watching my channel today. If you haven't subscribed or liked my video yet, I would love to have you here. Hopefully you can find some inspiration from me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time here. Have yourself a wonderful day.